Yo. Okay, I heard my voice. That means I'm good. All right, what's up, everybody? And he just told me he got hit on an oh shit bid in Snap. What's an oh shit bid? That's when you put a bid out and about 3 hours later you forgot about it and all of a sudden pops up on your screen and you go, oh shit. It looks like he did that right about here. Interestingly enough. Thank you. Great. All right. Let me get going to see your guys' hello, Iris. I'm glad you got going in there. I saw that. It looks like you need a username and an email. I don't know why it wasn't taking your email, but I'm glad you made it. Um, People are trickling in now. Just a reminder, guys, this is the new format. As you can see, the title Live with Steve. Every day, one of us at 12 Eastern will be in here helping with either support for the product or talk about trading or look at charts or whatnot. It's up to you guys how you want to use the hour. But Barry is, for no other reason than it was just too darn taxing on his system to be running so much at once. And he found that when he stopped the StreamYard simulcast, a lot of his resources freed up, and you can't blame him for wanting to get those back. So we have no problem just creating a brand new stream each day at 12 Eastern. So if you guys were with me yesterday, you remember I didn't do a whole lot. I quit half day to go golf, which was lovely. So I didn't really have a whole lot of risk on the table. Personally, I still have BBAI, which is the trade of the week, and it's right back to pretty much the entry. So I'd like to see this thing get going. I did buy some GameStop this morning because I want to play the short squeeze. It feels like all of a sudden GameStop is a little scared of the new administration and a lot of the headlines that they've been talking about for investigations and getting to the bottom, maybe even getting Gary Gensler at the SEC to resign and just really kind of just cleaning house, which I think is what we're already seeing. So that kind of mentality, I think, in a stock like GameStop, if you subscribe like me to the fact that I do believe there are crazy naked shorts and derivatives and swaps and a bunch of weird shit going on in GameStop. And if that's the case, well, the price action is telling us it's a little scared to go down, meaning maybe the shorts are a little scared to be in this thing at the moment. I don't know. We'll see. Just catching up here on some stuff. All right. So, yeah, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's see what else. I don't think I'm in much else of note. No. Oh, actually, I did. I bought a shit ton of PSLV. Patrick, hello, Patrick. Guess who bought PSLV and my price? And I bought a ton of it. I bought a ton of it. My price is 10.19 and 5 cents because I added to it. So yeah, 10.19. Um, I don't like playing silver lately. It's been bugging me, but if you're playing silver and you buy these breakouts, you're in trouble. What you've got to do is find those horrible oversold conditions to buy silver. And maybe I got it. I don't know. A lot of the stocks that I was in and trying to work, they're just real sloppy today. They weren't doing a whole lot. And so I go, you know what? I'm just going to pile into some PSLV here. And maybe it's a day trade. Kind of afraid to hold it overnight, but do believe it's a pretty good trend right here. kind of what I see. That's a horrible line. I can draw lines, can't I? Nice. Here we go. So that's how I think you have to trade silver. I think gold is kind of doing the same thing too. Let's take a look. Draw my line. Yeah, for the most part. So we're kind of at an inflection point here in the silver and gold. You also got gold through GLDM. What is GLDM? Oh, the Spider mini shares. Okay. Also, yesterday we talked about some crypto. And back to the hourly. Ooh, what's up? 6%. I'm going to go back to the daily here. So Doge, I think we all heard about Dogecoin lately, and we've been hearing Department of Government Efficiency and Elon Musk. And isn't it a coincidence that about 2 years ago, Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live making Doge jokes and tweeting about Doge? 2 years later, he's heading up an actual government agency, or a contracting consulting firm, I think is more what it is. And it's DOGE. Kind of weird. So if we want to analyze technically this thing, right? I think this is here's the election right here, and I think this is when people will realize that maybe this is kind of a weird thing. So ideally, it wouldn't hurt to just kind of do that and let the 10-day, I've got a 10-day moving average catch up. I think that's what could happen in Doge. That's what we'll see. XRP, I talked a lot about that yesterday. Somebody was curious about it and why it's useful, in my opinion. I mentioned I'm stacking it. I'm not trading it. I'm adding it for an asset class, even though it's not an asset. It's a utility coin, but long story. Perfect circle. If you're contrarian, wouldn't you think the market is reaching a top, even temporarily? Everyone thinks Trump and the market will pump like it did as president. Yeah, there's a couple things to consider there. One, buy the rumor, sell the news, although nobody really was sure how the election was going to pan out. So we do have a lot of explosive euphoria coming out. And I mentioned yesterday, I look at the Qs because it's even more prevalent in the Qs. Price can consolidate over two ways. It can pull back in price to consolidate, which is totally healthy, but it can also go sideways, which is super healthy. And so I think we might have another move higher in store. I mentioned yesterday that the sideways action is very strong. And look at the calendar. We are now heading into what is typically the most seasonally strong part of the year. I've been trading so many years, I can't tell you how many times I remember slow holiday weeks. We're near the holidays. It's kind of low volume, but boy, do things just creep higher. It's almost like retail just has its way, and the institutional selling side went to vacation. And so stocks that are darlings that are going into those periods will continue to move higher. That's my prediction. I don't have a single short bone in my body right now. You did hear me buy some gold, silver by way of PSLV, only because, and that goes hand in hand with what I was saying. Stocks are just not doing anything right now. This is a whole different move. Back here, we had stuff moving, but the last few days, it's been hard to get your price. It's been hard to get things going. I actually mentioned yesterday, it's like herding cats. Yesterday was a perfect doji in the SPY. You just back and forth. So the backdrop of the SPY and the NASDAQ is always going to continue to be the backdrop of the sentiment in today's trading. If we're puking, well, chances are your stocks are puking too. If we're just chopping back and forth and just buying time here, we're basically buying time for the SPYs and the Qs to get these 10 SMA and the 20 SMA up to touch the price. And a lot of times, you guys, algorithms run this market. You literally need a touch. Okay, so perfect circle. I want to see a touch. So when we get that touch, whatever day that is, that's what I'm going to be watching. We're either going to bounce off that touch and algorithms are going to go, boom, we're ready for another move. Or the sellers are going to say, you know what, we are overbought. We've run too far too long. And maybe the euphoria of the election is going to start to sell the news now. Well, what would tell me that? What I'll say is the very first candle, I'll use the cues again. What will get me scared of the market not going higher? Well, I think we're in for a date. Like I said, we're in for a date with this rising 10 SMA. So the day that they touch, pay close attention. If we touch and then we roll over and close like that, all bets are off to the long side. That's when I would say otherwise. Perfect circle. But the chances and the odds are telling us that we're going to hit that moving average and maybe have another move higher into the holiday season. That's what I think is going to happen. ESLB. Come on. A lot of work for it to do, but nonetheless, I'm just kind of parked in that today. Kind of waiting for the media, DJT media company to touch this 50-day here. There could be some inflection going on at that point. We're close. And then BBAI, I've got that. Today we've got earnings in Oklo. Boy, that's a good looking chart. But the problem is, I should know better about earnings. I tell myself don't gamble on earnings, but today, Oklo could move higher tomorrow with earnings. I broke my rule just to remind myself that I have rules that are, there for a reason, and that was I took rum into earnings. I was positioned down here, should have just sold it, but I said, hey, let's go for the jugular and be a pig and take earnings. Rode it all the way back to a flat and got out yesterday. So that's why, the trading gods never really shine brightly on me for earnings, probably for good reason, because the more you get lucky and the more you make money gambling into earnings, the more likely you are to do it. And that's a bad habit. So don't do it. No, perfect circle. I'm just still doing the same thing. Somebody pointed out yesterday, you like to trade small caps, don't you? And I said, yeah, actually I do, because there's a lot of movement in small caps and you can see when the volume comes in. So I'm still using the same two moving averages. Don't even have to change charts here. Perfect circle. Look at how rum tried to spike above my 130. And the sellers said, nope, this is why this blue line is a level of interest. It's a very solid level of interest. And this faster line, the 10 SMA, is just my momentum. So right now we've got no momentum because it's just doing nothing. Powell speaks in 3 hours. Oh, okay, that's probably good to know and might help. Now, if Powell was speaking and we were overextended and making brand new highs in silver, I'd be scared. But I feel like I got a good contrarian entry. Got a few points under my belt here this morning. Maybe I can build on that with silver and make back some of that stupid mistake I left on the table in rum yesterday. Sure, Ben. I can give you my setup. However, a couple things might not translate, like this won't because it's a symbol list. But all you have to do is add your favorite symbols. I use ETFs, and that'll work for you there. So I just, simply I'm going to share the entire layout. I'll even put my name in there for you. And then there's the code. And you'll get all the charts and all that stuff. You'll get these two scans here. You probably won't get this watch list, but again, it's a watch list that you can create yourself. That's just the shell called My Liked. This green batch over here, Ben, is nothing but short ideas, short squeeze, excuse me. These all have high short squeeze, 24% there. But the bigger green ones, I mean, they've already run today, and that's not always desirable. The idea with this scan is to find ones that have big short squeezes. I'm sorry, that have big short floats, which you will see here. Anything on here is going to have a big short float, BTDR, 31%. Oof, this thing's been going. So just because you see something on my screen doesn't mean you buy it. Let's take a look at that chart. GOGG. Somebody telling me? Nope, or Goog. Is that what you wanted to look at? Looks like if that's the case, Goog is definitely overshot at the downside for the moment. And Goad, okay? No, I'm not, these symbols aren't coming up if you're typing me. GOGG and GODE is nothing. Check in on my GameStop. Yeah, Razvain, if you want me to look at a chart, I will, but I'm not sure those are working. Okay, so the silver miners, Patrick, they're starting to show up a little bit. Interesting. Maybe they're paying attention to the actual product. Yeah, it loaded. How about that? This one might work for you. This S&P 500 is the symbol list that you may have. It's only the highs lows of the S&P 500. So when I start seeing a lot of red come through, it tells me the S&P is getting kind of weak. What did you show earlier? Do you mean Goog? I'm not sure. Was it one of these down here? BTDR. Might have been BTDR. Sorry, Razvain. I'm not quite sure what we were looking at. Okay. Want to look at USO, huh? It was a GO name. Okay, let's see. Sure. Obviously, I typed something that you saw. USO, not doing a whole lot. It's going to need to get back above that 200 day. I'll tell you what, technically speaking, this new admin might be wanting to drill as much as they can, and that could dilute the price of oil and bring the price of oil down. So let the chart tell you, what it is or what it's doing. BBAI is showing up on that list. Was it OKLO you were looking at? I'm sorry, Raz, Van. I'm not sure which one I was typing. If it was on this list, I don't see a GO. Could have been game. Could it have been game? Started with G-O. How was it? G-O-E, Ev? Did that come through? Go, Ev? No, it wasn't that one. So if you go through my charts, you just go G-O. We looked at Google. It wasn't Google. Was it one that Patrick was looking at? GLDM? No. GovT? No. Mentioned by Elon. Oh, Doge. Doge. Okay, so this is a crypto. I diverted from stocks and I went to TradingView because we don't have crypto. And DOGE, okay, Department of Government Efficiency. 2 years ago, Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live and TV and Twitter and laughing about Dogecoin and Dogecoin to the moon. And so it was almost like he was pre-programming and predictive programming, what was coming. Like he knew 2 years ago, maybe that he'd be a part of Department of Government Efficiency. So that is now kind of a funny play with the name of this new. It's a consulting firm. It's not an official government agency, I don't think, but we'll see. It says Department of Government, but we'll find out. Yeah, not a stock. It's a crypto. It's a crypto meme coin. And, people can use it if they want to trade for things in meme coins. It's not Bitcoin. It's not XRP. That's a concept, Bill. So if oil OAH starts to get some contracts, all right, look at this. No surprise here. Giant gap up, Bill. You're correct. The gap up on the day after the election. Now you got to remember, guys, this is 4-year elections. These giant hedge funds, they've got to move their models around, especially in this election. Throw out the green energy and bring in the drill. I'm not trying to be flippant. It's just the way it is. So with that said, Bill, we're working off some of that. I mean, you can literally see the price being corralled here. The 200-day is the bogey. That's the target. But now we're pulling back. Look at this. Look I would say what you could do is, I might even do the same thing. Just right click, price alert right at the touch. Remember, algorithms want to actually touch the moving average. That's a waypoint. If, when, achieve, goal, set, reverse. Yeah, if the drilling goes up, the demand and the price, will the price for oil should go down, but companies that are going to drill for it might start making some profits. That is a thought. Elon is from the future. Didn't you know that? I do. So is Barron Trump. Have you gone down that rabbit hole, David Schultz? Let me see if I can find it. Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey. What the hell is this all about? This was written. It was written a long time ago, in the 1890s. Look at that face. It almost looks like him. His father was this is a story written in the 1890s. Bored with this aristocratic youth in Castle Trump, searching for adventure, he travels to Russia and discovers an underground world. This was written in 1890s, you all. You want to go down a rabbit hole? Have fun with that. That one will blow your mind. Hey, Mike. Hey, if you're into time travel, who knows what the hell's going? Fake news. That was written in 1890. You do realize who wound up with Tesla's work, his life work, his papers, right? Does anybody know who wound up with this Tesla's work? It was confiscated by the FBI. Tesla talked about time travel and pulling energy from the ether, and his files, his life's work was, I think, given to MIT, and some specific individual wound up with Tesla's notes in his work. Does anybody know who wound up with it? Nope. His name was John Trump of MIT, the uncle of Donald J. Trump. So there you have it. Jeffrey Epstein. No, if he had time travel, he wouldn't have got caught. But we're supposed to be talking about stocks and trade ideas. So let's see what the market's up to. Yikes. Okay, so we're getting some pullback in the cues. And it's healthy. We're just, we're just biding our time for the convergence between price and this moving average. So there's really nothing to do in my mind until these two touch and we see how they resolve. Do they bleed through and close lower? Well, that would not be good. Or do they find support and buyers and bounce higher? Okay, that's a great question, Ben. When he gives text to speech, he's hearing something, but he can't tell which way to do it. And there is a way to do that. So I'm going to use this window as my example. Right? And we'll go to properties and actions. And we're going to play sound setup, set up sound and do all that, text to speech. Click OK. This is what you want. Show alert window. So if it's hiding behind something, it should pop up. There it is. You see that? That's all you got to do. Just check that window. Show alert window. That will pop it up if it's behind something. But you can also see the frame around the window of which is, being talked about. That frame will light up. That's the best answer I can give you for that scenario. Um, Especially if you have something minimized, Ben, like if they were all minimized, they would pop up and maximize. How is Have This AI trading platform? Well, everything you're seeing here is not AI. Everything you're seeing here is things that I have created by my own configuration. Now, if you wanted to see that, you would go to the new, and I don't know if you're a subscriber yet, but docked channel bar. This is a new workspace, and you would go to the AIs. You can click on the channels. All this is real time ideas that come out. Oh, Qubit came out in real time today. Okay, that's interesting. MDXG. So this is one way that you can use the AI. These are real time trades. These are trades that happened in the past down here, and they're continuing to move higher. So QUBT, look, was called back here on that blue arrow. So essentially, the difference is who asked that question? Nathan. Yes, the difference is you're not a subscriber. The difference is everything on this screen is going to pop up, as an idea that is generated by our technology. There's volume, there's movement, there's an idea. And everything in this window is more old school. This is everything built and configured by me to show me what I want to see and when I want to see it. Verbose mode. Doesn't that make it say the window name too? You know what, Pepe? When Pepe speaks, I gotta listen. Where would I see that? It's probably a new feature I'm not aware of. Verbose mode. Ah, that's a new one. See, sometimes my dinosaur status just keeps me from like learning new things and new options that we have to check here. So what I'm hearing from the crowd, Nathan, or whoever is asking that question, I'm sorry, that should help you even more. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right, let me catch up. Psilocybin is the key for happiness and stress. MNKD, are they getting into are they getting into psilocybin, mankind? Or do you mean Mind Med? Yeah, I bet you they are getting into it. Mind Med is my go-to. What does that verbose do again? Apparently, it might allow the window to be more alerted. It might allow you to show Ben which alert is the actual one. Mind Med is my favorite, and I'm actually watching it here. You see, I've got this blue line. I might buy back into it. I traded it, but one more day of maybe consolidation. I might want to jump back into this one because this is the psilocybin PTSD. And let's talk about that. It's not only that, it will read out the window name as well. Thank you, Pepe. Verbose, I guess that would make sense. Another consequence of the election, RFK Jr. wants to overhaul health and diet. He wants to overhaul the FDA. I think he wants to go after big pharma, make them accountable. And people are going to start to realize that maybe big pharma SSRIs aren't the right way for PTSD and other things. So don't lose track of companies like MindMed because I'm not. I've got it in another long-term account, but I want to trade it again here. Again, a major paradigm shift, and people are having to change their business models. You know, what does the biotech index look like? I look at IBB. Okay, so there's the exact opposite of the consequences of an election. Robert F. K. is going to go after biotechs, and they're not happy. Whereas more homeopathic and simple medicine is. You can get a little annoying with all of those alerts. Yeah, good point, Pepe. Depends on what kind of alert you've got going. If it's very sparse and few and far between, no big deal. All right, I think I've missed some questions, Joe. I better back up. Yes, Dan, my style of trading is swing trading. I like to trade the small caps and I like to sit if I have to sit for a day or two, but then when I get my move, I stay in it. And then the following day, if there's follow through, I start to fade out of it. So a day and a half is my perfect surfing analogy. Make a couple turns and bail out the backside of the wave and then position and sit and wait for another opportunity. But I don't like to trade the big caps. I like to trade the small caps. They get the most move and the most explosive volume. Nathan, we have a pricing page. You know, the AI is the more expensive of the two. It's a couple $100 a month. We have a lot of specials. We're going to have Black Friday specials. So, I mean, like 30% is coming up here next week and 2 weeks from Black Friday. Jamie, hi. Jamie's doing like a sabbatical. He's trading really well. So he's kind of taking a sabbatical and he's been trading full time. Um, Ben Jr., how do I take that strategy loaded as my alert? I might have to revisit that question. I don't know what we were talking about. You can't automate the AI. No, the AI is not automated. It's basically manual. They're just real-time idea generators. Sometimes you can trade them and get a better price yourself. Good point, David said if you're going to use verbose mode, you might want to rename the strategy so it's something simple. Burp or noise, or just type PFF as the strategy name. Who's Robert Califf? Is Yeah, Pepe's the man. He knows what's going on. Is the AI worth the 2,000 price tag? Well, if that's if you go annually. What I would suggest you do is one, if we have a test drive, which we're going to have in January, you can try it for 1 week for $7. Otherwise, use the Black Friday option for 30% off and only do 1 month. Do a month and see if you like it. And then if you feel like you're getting value of it, I'll give you a little secret. You tell the accountants here, the accounting group, yeah, hey, I did 1 month at 30% off on your Black Friday sale. Can you give me 30% off if I commit to an entire year because I really like it? You'll get that. So that's the way I recommend you would do that. Start. Yeah, the new admin is good for oil. It's good for psychedelics. It's good for uh, natural foods. It's good for crypto. Um, so there's a lot of changes going on these allocation models of hedge fund managers and money managers and everybody alike. Robert Califf, he must be somebody in biotech. Perfect circle. Can you show us an example of a recent move you traded? I would show you one, but I'm absolutely embarrassed. But let's just do it anyway. I was in this QUBT, and I was in it for a couple days. Like I said, I bought it. I bought some here and then here. So I sat for like 3 days. As long as it sat above that 10 SMA, it was okay. I was just kind of slowly accumulating because I was expecting this. Was I expecting this? Nope. So basically, here's yesterday, it started to run. I sold some at 155, and then I sold the rest at like 180, and I was super happy. And the reason I didn't keep any was because I was golfing. I had to leave. Oh, FDA chief, good. He can. I'm not even going to say what he can do. So there's a small cap. There's volume. Let's see, what's another one? I traded the hell out of these like SMR and Oklo. Let me see if I can find a good example of. Well, let's use my current one, BBAI. All right, I just bought it back this morning. It tried to go and it failed, so I sold some. It pulled back, and this is a moving average play. Look at, I've got the 200 moving. That's like a brick wall. And here's the 20 SMA, and here's the 10 SMA. So all three moving averages are converging. This is what I like to do. Here's a small cap name. Here's volume. Not only that, it's an AI stock. Some of these AI stocks are off the hook, all right? PLTR is a first tier name. Look at this chart. IONQ is a first tier name. Look at these chart. So at some point, the small cap names start to move in sympathy. SoundCloud is like a second tier name, all right? Had a big move and then earnings smashed it a little bit. But BBAI, I would call like a third tier name. Look at the history of this. It's been in play, but when you talk about reading books and they talk about saucer bottoms, you got to be patient for these things. But that's a long-term solid base. All I'm trying to do is time the movement right where I can get a day and a half of like a nice 25% move or something like that. So big pullback, fake out, breakout, and not. This is typical. You see how we break out right there? If you're a new trader, I will say never, ever, ever, ever be the person that jumps in and establishes a new position after all this run and you peek your head above. Where do you think you're going to go from here? It's expended all of its energy getting there. So you watch these 3-day pullbacks, you get a nice little spike, and this is a current trade that I'm in. So I'm waiting for this trade to develop more. What I want from this trade is I want this to go back and test these highs. And if it does, guess who's going to be feeding out shares 20%, 25% at a time to the people running up and chasing it? That'll be me. So that's my style of trading. How do I load an AI strategy alert in the window? Well, I don't know what window you're trying to load, but I'm going to show you the AI strategy alerts are right. AI strategy alert, right? Not the trades. So try new AI strategy window. See, this is a different window. We've only got these strategies working today, 4 shorts and 4 longs. Downward dog, breakout. Mighty Mouse is always going to be chasing small cap stocks. So that's how you would load that window if that's what you mean. I'm not sure. Otherwise, if you're wanting to simulate these trades, you'd open Brokerage Plus, right? And all you have to do is click QUBT, and QUBT is loaded into Brokerage Plus to simulate it. A second, guys. How do I get help with scans that match specific criteria? Well, you can send the you can send us a chart and your ideas to info@trade-ideas.com and exactly what you're looking for, and we can try to help you build a scan and back into it. Let me give you an example. So this is my pullback to the 10 SMA. Look at how the stock is pulled back and it just broke through the 10 SMA. AXAL pulled back, broke to the 10 SMA. ADPT. But notice they're all good stocks. They've all been moving up, and I'm catching them here with this scan on a 2 or 3 day pullback right at the 10 SMA. So here's how I did that. The configure is and I'm speaking to like Razvain. Okay, these stocks have been up. Change in 10 days. They've been up 4%. Okay, change today. Ooh, they're down 1%. So up 4% in the last day, but they're down at least 1% today. And we're bracketing the 10 SMA on the daily, 0.25% below, 0.25% above. So this is giving me nothing but stocks that are strong on 10 days, having a weak day today, and the alert shows me new low right where I want to see the new low at the 10 SMA. That's how you kind of back into the concept of these trades. But again, info@trade-ideas.com. Give us a chart, give us a time frame, give us what you want to see, and we can try to help you build it. Will the money machine be configurable for automated trading? Yes, it will. Sometime in 25, you'll be able to configure it how you want to configure it. So I would say, like, you take a top list like this. Let's just watch this. Actually, let's do this. We'll turn this back into a top list. And it's all, as long as it's a top list, I can configure it, right? So I can make my changes and my configurations. And in the future, you will be able to say, okay, let's turn it back into a tree map. And boom, let's go. Turn it on. And you're automatically in the top 3 of your configured strategy. But guys, that's not coming for a while yet. What did I just do? I don't want to see the drop-down menu. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let me catch up. You guys are doing great with questions today. What was my entry on BBAI? So again, this is my second entry, Charles. I bought it on the open. Now, what I like to do a lot of times is let these opens, when I see an opening candle like that, wait a minute, is that today? Hold on a second. Mhm. Okay, this was the close yesterday. So I'm using this little swish back and down yesterday, and I saw we opened up and had some green, and then kind of came back and just sat in this little pocket right here. This is where I took my entry. I'm kind of trusting this, and when I correspond that to the daily, we've had 1, 2, 3 days of nice pullback, and we bounced through a nice rejection. I love to see a rejection reversal wick right through these key averages. So that kind of gave me comfort this morning that it might be time for a re-entry into this trade, which I did. Okay, Maggie, the AI trades, there's two ways you can use them. Oops, not that one. You can use them as today's trades, any profitable or all of them, or we just go show me the any profitable. These are today's, but this cube, could in chance turn out to be in, if I right click and I say show long term, now these are your long term trades down here. You see how this buy was down here at NXL at 123? When we click on NXL, here's the buy down here. I want you to look at this. Okay, there's 8,000 stocks in the market. Look at it like AI Holly put NXL on your watch list back at 123. We're at 408 now. Now, I'm not saying you should be, intelligent enough to just buy it here and sit and go play golf and take a vacation and come back and expect this. What I'm saying is this is giving you the notion that these stocks are in play and you don't want to lose track of them. So you start doing what I call using price alerts and setting price alerts to alert you. Like if this one wants to go to a new high, and if you feel like, that's a decent breakout, it's the third attempt, maybe you want to play that. So all you're doing is using the long-term AI for idea generation on the swing trade side. So the answer to your question is both. It's both intraday, but they all eventually turn into long-term trades if they continue to go in the same direction. Okay. How do I view long-term AI? Yeah, it's a right click into the menu right here, show long-term. Right click, show long-term, and then use these arrows to toggle through the ideas. Then if you see something you like, you can click the heart on the chart, which adds it to your my watch list top list, or you can create price alerts to never lose track once again. Not sure what you need help signing in for. Or do you need help signing in for the? If you need help signing in for the program, just go to our website and the pricing page. Now, I don't think our promo code is live yet, if that's what you mean. So you might want to wait for the promo code. Checking my questions here. Would that be using AS strategy when holding QBT to Brokers Plus? Well, again, there's no automation between Brokerage Plus and the AI. It's up to you to manually send those trades. The only way you can automate your Brokerage Plus is if you have created your own. And like I said, what's coming in 25, maybe February 25, which is the money machine. It's like the second iteration of AI. It's nothing more than keeping you in the top 3 trades throughout the day or until you turn it off. All right, man. I think I caught up to all your questions. I'm going to have to run in about 3 minutes because I've got more meetings. Let's check in on crypto. Oh, XRP. This makes me happy. This is good. For those that don't know, XRP is just basically a utility bridge coin, bridge currency. So if you're sending money digitally in the future, US to England, it goes through XRP first. That's going to be the thought anyway. It's not a reality yet, but that's the idea behind that coin. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, I'll take that. I'm making money in crypto today. How about that? I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, XRP. The SEC has been holding back XRP, claiming it's a security when in fact it's not. It's a utility token. The moment that Gary Gensler resigns from or is fired, he's going to have to resign because he can't be fired yet, but he's probably going to resign from the SEC. And if that headline isn't already out, it could be soon. All right, guys, I do got to run. And I'm not selling this. This is generational. This is just going to sit on my digital ledger in my safe. It's not online. Yeah, Nathan, just realized that it takes more than 1 day or 2 or 3 days to get acclimated, but just come to these 12 o'clock sessions, Monday through Friday. Utilize our info at Trade-Ideas email. We can share scans, we can help you, but just be aware it's going to take a bit of a learning curve to get going, but we'll do our best to try and help you. Why do I like XRP? Because I think it's going to fit into the new quantum financial system where digital currencies are all backed by gold and silver, like the BRICS nation, and everything's going to be digital. If you want to send money from one currency to another, you have to use the SWIFT system, which takes 3 days and it's expensive. You can move money through XRP from one currency to another on the blockchain digitally in 5 seconds, and it costs you about 30 cents. 12 o'clock Eastern. Thank you, Nathan. Good quality. Always talk about New York since we're talking about stocks. So 12 Eastern every day, just come to the Trade-Ideas channel. We're going to create a brand new live stream. I titled it Live with Steve. Tomorrow I'll be live with Andy, and you'll get more swing trading advice from Andy tomorrow. But yeah, Nathan, take it slow. It's very hard to learn overnight. There's the software, and trading in itself is complex, but we're here to help. So with that said, you guys, thanks. I will. You guys were very, very active today. I appreciate that. Some days we come in here and we don't do much talking. So I'm glad you recognize the value, and see some of you tomorrow with Andy. Bye.